about hobbies that we can do during quarantine, which are playing chess and drawing. So I'm gonna talk about how to move and play chess pieces and the benefit of the playing chess. Chess is game for two players. The board is divided into 64 squares of contrasting color. It is placed between the players so that each player has a light color corner square on his right. The pieces are placed on the board according to this video. Each player has 16 pieces with the same color. Before the game starts, one player takes one pieces of each color in each hand, and the other player also choose one pieces and doing so. Select the color he will be playing with. The player who chooses the lighter color pieces must be open the game first. The objective of the game is to place the opponent's king in such a position that on his next move, he will be captured. This is called checkmate, and the game is ended. The player who succeeds in placing his opponent's king in checkmate is the winner. When a player threatens his opponent's king with capture, he must warn his opponent by saying check. Capturing is done by landing on the square occupied by an opponent's pieces, not by jumping over pieces as is done in drafts. The pawn first move may be either 1 or 2 squares in a forward direction, and thereafter only 1 square at a time. The pawn may move diagonally only to capture an opponent's pieces. It cannot capture a piece's move forward and never move backward, should it reach the opposite end of the board. The 18th round, the pawn may change its value to that of any pieces except the king. Knight. The knight moves 2 squares either forward, backward to either side, and then 1 square to the right or to the left. It can capture an opponent pieces standing on the last square. The knight is only pieces that may jump over another pieces in making a move, which means knight move in a fixed L pattern. 2 square forward, backward, left or right. Then 1 square horizontally or vertically backward, left or right. It followed by 2 square horizontally or vertically to complete the L shape. Therefore, the knight must move the fully distance. It cannot move just 2 squares in a straight line without also move 1 to the side. For instance, next, castle. The castle may move any number of squares forward, backward, or to either side provided these squares are not occupied by another pieces. It may capture an opponent pieces in this way by occupying the square on which the opponent's pieces stand. Next, bishop. The bishop moves diagonally forward or backward any number of squares provided. A bishop cannot move horizontally or vertically for any reason. It cannot move through pieces of the same color and capture pieces of the opposite color by moving onto its square. It must remain on its own color and can capture by occupying the square of an opponent pieces in the parts. Next, queen. The queen moves in any direction, any distance in a straight line provided, which means the queen may move any number of squares horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. This move must be made in a single straight line during a single turn. It captures by occupying the square of an opponent pieces in its parts. Because of its ability to move in this manner, it is the most powerful pieces on the board. And the last is king. The king, although the most important pieces on the board, but is limited in the movement to 1 square at a time in any direction, which is move a single space horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. The king cannot move into a space that will grant a check or checkmate to the opponent player, but it can capture in this move provided it does not place itself in position check. There have a lot of benefit of playing chess. First, improve memory. Scientists have shown that chess help keep Alzheimer's disease at bay, which is directly related to the loss of memory. There are many tactics and strategies in chess, and a good player should know most of them. But it is not the case of sitting and learning the tactic by the heart. Over the course of many games, players develop an almost natural feeling of when to use a certain strategy or tactic. This is where the benefit of improved memory shine. Players can quickly remember and use different strategy or tactic. 2 is strategic thinking. Chess is considered to be a strategic game. This means that in order to win, you must have a better plan of action than your opponent. But no one is born with the ability to conceive great strategy move. It must be learned by practicing. To most people, strategy is associated with war and army general planning their attack with strategy move. This example is not far from chess. Just like a general command his army, and chess player command his or her own pieces in the battle of black and white. So playing chess greatly improves the ability to develop certain strategy and plan. 3. Serve as therapy and rehabilitation. Chess is good support for patient recovering from a physically debilitating accident and as a form of therapy for people with developmental problem. Moving chess pieces help with fine motor skill reconstruction. The activity itself improves the cognitive and communication skill of patient. Also stimulating deep concentration, fighting stress and varying degrees of anxiety. 4 is develop IQ, arguably one of the key benefits of playing chess. However, several studies have proven that a person's IQ can rise after some time playing chess. Besides, it improves reading, math, and language skill. People who take advantage of the benefit of playing chess also have highly developed thinking skill in 2 other areas besides memory. 1. Fleet intelligence, ability to consider new types of problem and use reasoning to solve them. 2. Processing speed. It is the ability to understand tasks quickly and respond efficiently to challenges. And the last is improve creativity. A study suggests that critical development and creative thinking could be developed through chess. In time, players improve all areas of creativity, demonstrating significant growth in what regard originality. After 5 benefits I mentioned to you, have you even tried playing chess? If not, don't wait for it. Just go grab yourself a board and start with it.
Assalamualaikum and hi madam and my fellow friend. After years, I hope you are having a wonderful day. And if not, remember it's a bad day, not a bad life. Okay. And in this vlog, I'm going to share with you 4 simple shading steps to make a flat background look realistic. Shading is applying shadow for darkest areas and applying highlight for the lightest areas. And this method will help in creating depth of field that make your photos or drawing more realistic. Without any further ado, let's launch Photoshop. Here we are in the magical world of Photoshop, and I'm using photo in this video. For your information, all my edits are based on drawing before, but for making this tutorial, I think it's more accessible for others when I use photo. We can use grandma photos, fathers, cat, bird, and you name it. Okay. Place your beautiful photo on the canvas, and yep, we are ready done. Okay, just kidding. This photo already have the shading. You can see the highlight right here or the shadow for the darkest area. How about we make a new background for these photos? Interesting, right? But it's more challenging because we need to create a shading from scratch. Okay. We begin with the preparation by removing the background from these photos. You can use the AI feature right here. If you cannot see the feature, you can press W on the keyboard to open the selection tool. Okay, now the subject is selected. Press the mouse button below. The background photos become transparent and you can put any background here. Okay, I want to replace the background with this photo. We have just finished the preparation. This looks flat right now. So it's come to the shading technique number 1. Okay, determine the lighting source. Where are the light come from? This is from the left, right, or in front. Okay, in this photo we can see that the light is coming from the right. Okay, if you cannot find out the light sources, remember artistic freedom. The freedom to imagine and create your own artwork. Yes, you can create your own light sources by creating white solid color. Click the mask button and press Ctrl I to invert the mask. Now we can paint it using brushes. Press B in the keyboard so the brush tool is selected. And you can also change the brush properties by right click on the mouse. And now I'm using the soft brushes. Remember, you are in the inverted mask, it means the white color show and the black color erase. This is the example. The brush is in white, and when I paint it show the solid colors, the white solid colors, and when I change to the black, it will erase it. And you can toggle between these two colors by pressing X. And yeah, there you have it, your own light sources. Technique number 2, create a shadow. There are tons of ways to create shadow in Photoshop. First of all, I will show you the method that I use a lot in my artwork. Press Ctrl and click at the subject mask. When the subject is selected, create black solid color. This method gives you more flexibility to play with the shadow. Press Ctrl T to change the position of the shadow. This does not look right if we just place the shadow right here. It needs a distortion. The shadow needs to stretch a little bit. Have you noticed that you are standing on the beach and the shadow is stretched? And to do that, press Ctrl T, right click and choose distortion. It's look about right, hit enter. And there you have it. It might look unrealistic. Now wait for it. The reason is does not look good is because the shadow is too dark. Let's look at the shadow in the background. It's not fully dark. So to make it realistic, decrease the opacity. Now you tell me the other problem with this shadow is too sharp. Let's just blur it. With the shadow layer selected, go to the filters, filter, blur, and Gaussian blur. Now we are in the third step, create highlight. You can create highlight by using curve adjustment layer. Just increase the curve up to make the subject brighter. Right now it affects all the layers including the background. We don't want that. We want to limit the brightness only to the subject layer. To do that, you can create a clipping mask. Press Alt key and click between the layers. Okay, right here. So this is how you create a clipping mask. Now you can play with the adjustment layer that is only limited to the subject. Okay, click mask and press Ctrl I to invert the mask. And we are using the same method that we used to create light sources. Okay, press B on the keyboard to use brush tool and paint. Okay, there you go. Moving on the final step, which is adding global effect. This is the effect that you apply on the subject and the background, and this help bring all things together. Okay, now press Ctrl Alt Shift E to merge all the layers in the canvas. Now add the adjustment layer color lookup. I'm using my favorite, which is crisp and warm. And if it's too much, you can always decrease the opacity. You can put as many color lookup as you want. And other global effect is to add a camera raw filter. If you are familiar with Lightroom, the camera raw filter is work the same as it. Okay, so right now we are tweaking all the slider, the exposure, contrast, and making sure to make it look realistic. And need to keep in mind, don't over edit. We finish all the steps and let's take a look at the final result. This is the original photo that environment look boring except the subject. Here are the before and here are the after. There you have it. This is how to shade and make flat background look realistic in Photoshop. Okay, of course I cannot cover all the Photoshop technique in this short blog. it takes me 3 years to learn. But if you have any question, feel very, very free to contact me. With all that said, I hope you learn something throughout the process and stay creative.